Hello, friends. It's Verge, and it is a very, very hot Friday afternoon here in Arizona. I just got done feeding lunch to horses. As you can tell, I haven't changed or showered. I'm quite dirty. And yet, I wanted to try to be putting up videos more often. We'll see how it goes, but maybe I could go a little bit more for consistency in that vein and share with you guys the takeaways that I have while I'm cleaning about 25 plus horse stalls a day, plus often harrowing and watering multiple arenas and feeding about 70 horses, usually at least once a day. But it all rotates, and I have an amazing supportive team here. And community of animals and people. It's really quite special. So I just wanted to be in solidarity with you out there if you have ever had or currently have a job where, or life just in general, where you just feel really overwhelmed and overworked, and those moments when you're just so hot and so tired and so inundated and you really don't know if you're going to be able to keep going and you feel like you're going to snap. And just have some solidarity with you for one thing, because honestly, this is probably the most, at least consistently, physically difficult job I've ever had. Also working with camels in Australia and Broome, Western Australia was as well. And I also worked 6 days a week there like I do here. So I've had jobs like this, but I also have just had a lot of space and flexibility and worked online a lot, or been through periods when I wasn't working. And I just want to send out some solidarity to those who feel like they're really overworked and really overwhelmed. And it can be very difficult to be positive and mindful. And oh my goodness. You guys, 2 hummingbirds just landed in the tree right next to me. I've never seen 2 together like this. This is so special. Oh my goodness. I have goosebumps all over my body. Okay, that's cool. That's a good sign. Hummingbird magic. It just flew right over my left ear. So I just wanted to send out some solidarity because I feel like I have not always been in positions where I feel just very overwhelmed and overworked, especially physically. And it's very humbling. And the message that I really wanted to send was more like, at least for me, and I hope this is true for you too, wherever you are, I just want to remind you that as the Wheel of Fortune card in tarot says, what goes up must come down. And the tides are always changing, and it's always that ebb and flow, that in and out, that up and down, that light and dark, like breathing, like the tides, like night and day. And just remembering this too shall pass, again, about both the highs and the lows. Because every time that I feel like I am literally going to pass out, something comes and energizes me. And a lot of times I've noticed having such a big disparity between feeling good and feeling bad, feeling high and feeling low, feeling energized and feeling exhausted. I've begun to notice the things that really energize me, and connection is one of those things. Like, usually right when I feel like I'm going to pass out from exhaustion and dehydration, and having gotten up at 4 a.m. to make sure that I'm writing every morning and starting work by 6 a.m., someone will come and talk to me, or I'll have an interaction with a horse where I just get that connection and I feel filled up again. And I just want to remind you, if you're in one of those low points, whether right now as you're watching this video or whenever throughout your day, this too shall pass. And being there fully with it and kind of surrendering to it somehow seems to usher in, I feel like, that next buoy that comes along. So yeah, and just to share a specific example, as I have talked about, I've been becoming much keener about listening to, there's a butterfly. black with white stripes. Listening to butterflies, exactly. Listening to the language of my body, listening to sensations of all kinds and feelings of all kinds. And this has kind of led me to notice the way that certain substances have been making me feel. I've always been one of those people who like, oh, I'll eat anything. Like I've been a vegetarian before. And that's something, if anyone has any comments about diet or anything like that or any advice, I'd love to hear it. And I continue to not drink alcohol. I continue to not smoke. So that's going really, really well. And I think maybe between that and just being like super clear, also like paying a lot more attention to my body and also doing very difficult, hot physical labor, I've begun to notice how certain things have affected me more. And two things I started to notice. One, that processed sugar, not like honey or dates or fruit, but, candy bars or cookies or jelly or things like that, are giving me really bad acid reflux, which I feel like is my body saying like, I don't want that. And would maybe give me a bit of a high, but then really drain me and leave me feeling very nauseous, which I've always been someone who's really loved sugar. So I am still trying to find sweet things that are more naturally occurring. And I've noticed that my body seems to do better with those. And then the other thing that I started noticing, I love coffee. Like coffee is a huge part of my everyday ritual and life. And especially since I stopped smoking spliffs, it's still like, oh, I can go have my coffee. But I have also always said it's not so much about coffee as it is something hot that I can put cream in. And right now I'm more into like alternative creamers, like, coconut and any kind of plant-based creamer. And I am not really eating meat right now. I am eating cheese, so I'm not vegan yet. But I mean, I'm always growing and learning and finding out what's right for me. And I hope you are too. Anyway, I started noticing that coffee was making my heart beat, or I started feeling my heart beating like really, really fast, often, in a way that just felt way over the top. And I made the connection, like, I think it's from coffee. And so yesterday, for the first time, I drank, it's like a barley oat, chicory sort of mix substitute for coffee that I had in the morning as I was writing. And yesterday I felt terrible. Like I could not figure out why I had a headache. I just felt so lethargic. I felt like I was literally going to fall asleep on my feet. And then at some point I realized, oh my goodness, I'm having caffeine withdrawals. And I've always been one of those people who said like, oh, coffee doesn't really affect me. I can drink it right before I go to sleep. Like no big deal. And then yesterday was such a testament to how much my body had become addicted to caffeine. And I was literally having withdrawals. And I ended up taking a 3-hour nap in the afternoon yesterday and then still going to bed at 7 p.m. and getting like 9 hours of sleep. So, I mean, it was just fascinating to realize like how dependent my body had become on coffee, and to start to be honest with myself about how much like I want my body to show me how much work it's really capable of. I don't want to be having to stimulate it in order to push it way beyond its means, which I feel like is what that amount of sleep that I needed over the past like few days was showing me, like that I was kind of masking that exhaustion with coffee. And again, you guys, none of this, I am not here to say any substance is good or bad. I'm here to encourage you to observe yourself and listen to your body and your heart and your soul, and get your mind on board with them. I literally have dirt like on my face, but I'm just gonna leave that because this is what I look like right now. This is what I look like every day. And so yesterday I thought I was gonna die. Like I was just ill. My head, I was nauseous, I was sick. It's over 100 degrees here. I'm working outside. And, today's just a lot better. And still yesterday, I had amazing conversations with
dear friends and family and interactions that uplifted me. And I just really want to remind you through it all that it's okay to rest. It's okay to be in those places of, deep sadness or darkness or feeling like you can't make it or feeling overwhelmed, because no matter what, it's going to pass. And that provides the contrast and like I don't know what to say, the momentum, the energy that keeps the wheel spinning. And like my older brother was saying, that gives us that contrast that allows us to really not take for granted those times when we do feel really energized and really good and really healthy. And I guess part of what I'm saying too is just starting to notice and maybe write down or record or talk to trusted friends about, or just notice in your own heart and dialogue what feeds you and what takes away, what depletes you. And maybe certain things that it feels like give you a lot, like for me, coffee, and just kind of starting to experiment with that relationship of like, okay, well, clearly coffee gives me a lot of stimulation. And coffee, I also realized like I would often be writing 4,000 words in an hour, like in the mornings. And now this morning in an hour, I wrote closer to like 2,500. And I realized, I think a lot of that franticness of like needing to write so much and say so much and whatever was from coffee. And a lot of other things too, but I really do want to be in it for the long run. I actually deeply desire to slow down in my life, which sounds paradoxical because I have so much that I wish to do. Like, I want to be publishing more, I want to be doing more videos, I want to be editing more, I want to be talking to more people, and I'm doing so much at work. But I don't want to do it in a frantic rush or hurry. If that's the kind of quality that I need to bring, then I don't want to do it, if that makes sense. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I am hoping to share more often, and maybe, as usual, my videos won't be polished or perfect, but maybe it'll be more of a consistent thing, and that's kind of my goal also with publishing my blogs. So if you want to check out my blogs, again, there's a link down below. And thanks for being here. Oh, there's a lot of leaves falling right now. I wonder if I can you see the leaves falling? I don't know if you can or not, but anyway, I love you very much. Thanks for being here. I'd love to hear what you're noticing about your body, how you're taking care of yourself, things that work for you, just tips and tricks and things of the like. The clouds are really pretty up here too. I don't know. Oh yeah. Isn't that cool? All right. Mwah.